Hey everyone, GGinspire back to go live another day, have some fun with you guys, share some of my thoughts, and hear a little bit about entrepreneurship and some of the stories I have to tell. Really excited actually. Today is going to be kind of an ad-lib kind of day, so it'll be good, but we've got a topic, dreams and unity. That's our topic today. Hi Carla. But really pumped because there's a lot of really cool things happening. You know, we've been busier than ever as far as business is concerned, and family is good. So next week we're actually going to 10X GrowthCon. Super pumped about that. It's going to be amazing in Las Vegas. Going with 9,000 of my close entrepreneurial friends. It's going to be awesome. So we're super excited. It's going to be good. So Greg Cardone's going to be there. Ed Milet, our agency chairman, is going to be there. Tons. Brad Lee, Ty Lopez, Damon James. Like it's just like star-studded name after star-studded name. It's going to be incredible. Greg Cardone, Elena Cardone, like all their whole staff. It's going to be amazing. So we're pumped about it. It's going to be really good. Hi, Joel. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you a couple stories. So I hope you guys have some good questions today. Like I said, today's topic is dreams and unity. But we've got a lot of really cool things happening coming up. So we've got our event next week, and then we've got a huge event coming up March 4th, March Forward to Your Future, all geared towards educating veterans, first responders, active military, and we're doing actually like a kids workshop. Lionheart's going to be there doing a kids workshop with us, and through conjunction with Helping Heroes USA, and we've got an incredible speaker. You guys have seen her on my page a few times, Nicole Went. She's a former military, used to be in the Air Force, turned entrepreneur. So we're going to talk about entrepreneurship and how exciting that is, and how in the military you have these incredible skill sets that you learn that are sometimes kind of discounted in the corporate world, but they lend so well to entrepreneurship and being able to run your own business and have the freedom that you want. And that's what we're all about here on GGinspire, is your freedom and being an entrepreneur and getting after it on your own. So super pumped and very excited. I keep saying super pumped because I'm like ready to go. Hey, Diana. So, and then one more thing. This Saturday, we're actually having an event at 9:30 a.m. in West Hills in our office, actually. And this is all geared towards those people who, when you're figuring out, you're like, I make good money, but I'm still trying to figure out how in the world is it that I spend it, and what have I done to show for it? I have nothing. I've made all this money and I don't have any left. Where did it all go? This is for you. So it's kind of like financial literacy and kind of a checkup from the neck up, kind of understanding some of those basics that we need to know so we can figure out why we're spending so much and where is it all going. So that's Saturday, and message me for any information that you want on that, okay? Marco, hi, thanks for joining us. And Tanya, yay, how are you? So excited, and Sasha too. Sasha's been like coming in and saying hi, here and there. So feel free to comment, you guys. Like, make sure, share this with other people. If you're like, my gosh, she keeps doing this every single week, like share it with other people, because you never know like who you might be able to make an impact on. So today's Dreams and Unity, and just so you guys know, it is February, it's Black History Month, and that actually, there's Martin Luther King Day, and this is a time of bringing, I think, more unity into our lives. And Martin Luther King is most famous for the I Have a Dream speech. He had a dream that we would live in a world where we weren't seen by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. And that was a huge, huge statement, because this is the kind of thing that, I remember growing up and learning. Now, I didn't see Martin Luther King alive, but I remember growing up in a world and hearing that speech over and over again, and hearing people talk about how it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. It matters on what kind of person you are on the inside, and how you treat others, and what a difference you make in the world. Hi, Ebony, and hi, Stacy. And that's what I want to be able to do. Like, I want to take the gifts that I've been given and the experiences that I've had and make a difference for others. It was so cool. I just posted earlier that GGinspire was going to go on. And one of my teachers from elementary school, she commented, she said, I'm so happy that you're making a difference. And I almost cried. I was like, this is so cool. Like, you don't realize who you're going to touch when you get out there. That's why I ask you guys to share this and comment and really push it out there and invite other people to see it, because you may know me as a good friend, or you may know me as somebody that you work with, but I'm a stranger to somebody else, and the words that I say may make an impact on them that could change their lives forever, and you never know what could happen. So I'll share with you some of my ideas and some of what we've been talking about. So Martin Luther King dreamed of an America where we could reach our own utopia, right? By being good to other people and really just appreciating each other for who we are. Now, we all have resistance, we have doubt, we have fear, we have struggle, we have things that come up like on a daily basis. You know, you might not want to think about these things right now, but on a daily basis, you have good and you have bad. You have thousands and thousands of thoughts every single day that come into your head. And so your goal is to figure out, how do I minimize the resistance, the resistance, the doubt, the fear, the struggle, and get more of the good, right? And so it's actually like a practice, almost like working out. You have to train yourself to not think about those things. You have to train yourself to focus and shift your focus to the positive. You know, so my husband and I, we've been in business for a long time together. And not too long ago, like a week or two ago, he watched The Secret. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen that movie. It looks like kind of like an infomercial, but it's a great movie, and it talks about how the law of attraction is what we bring into our lives, right? Hi, Hannah. The law of attraction is what we bring into our lives. So what we put into the universe, what makes us like what we want to be able to see, we have to ask for it. We have to think about it. We have to focus on it, right? So most of us focus on the things that we don't want, like, oh, my kids aren't listening, or, stuff's going wrong, or I hate my boss, or I'm not making enough money, or my car broke down, or I'm having this or having that, my spouse doesn't hear me. I hope your spouse was hearing you yesterday because it was Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. The thing is that we usually put our energy towards the things that we don't want, because those are the things that we talk about and we're complaining. So if you've been complaining in the last 15 minutes or half an hour, find a way to shift that into a positive, because we don't live in a vacuum. You're not going to be able to say nothing, right? So this morning, my husband, after watching The Secret, he's always been somebody, I hope he's not mad that I say this. So he's always been somebody that I've considered like not always a very positive person, right? And so he watched The Secret and he goes, oh my gosh, I've been saying like negative stuff for like years and years and years. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just not happy that he said it. But you know that feeling when somebody tells you that you're right and you're like, oh, that's like the best. It was one of those moments where like, I've been telling you this for like, we've been married for almost 13 years. I've been telling you this for like pretty much most of them. And now all of a sudden he's like, you were right. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's the best. Anyway, that's just me, I guess. But so the point is that he said, you know what, I have to start reframing the way that I speak, right? So he's, for years and years, has always been like, oh, I don't get enough sleep. I'm super tired, blah, 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 right? So he texted me this morning, I have to make better choices on when I go to bed. So you notice like a very slight difference in the way that he said that. It's kind of ridiculous, but it makes a difference. I was like, oh, he's actually thinking. He's actually thinking about the words that are coming out of his mouth and how to change them so that they can be a little bit more positive so he can get what he wants, right? I knew that was his positive way of saying I'm really tired. But anyway, so the point is that you have to shift things and you have to focus on what you want, right? So I hope you guys have questions. Feel free. You can put in any questions that you want. That'd be awesome. But you've got to battle through those thoughts daily, and you've got to find ways to turn them into a positive, right? Because your why, like what you're doing this for, has to be stronger than your fear, or has to be stronger than that doubt or that resistance or those things that are pushing you back, that are holding you back from what you want, right? They're always going to be there. Like, think about it. In 10 years in business, I mean, shoot, my entire life, I've had adversity every single day, all along the way. But the difference is that if you fight through it and you focus on what you want, I know, Audrey, we were just talking about this, right, via Facebook. You have to put your energy towards the things that you want and try and minimize in your mind the challenges and the issues and the stuff that comes up, right? So in this world, like, we have to, as I take that message, right, and you want to be able to create exactly what you want for your life, but also realize that everybody around you is in that same fight, right? We're all battling to be able to create a better life for ourselves and have more positivity and more time with our kids, or more money, or a better relationship with our spouse, or better relationships with the people that we work with. Like, all of us are in the battle to be able to create more. So why don't we unify in the fact that we have that in common, right? We're getting into that point now where we're trying to be able to create a great life for ourselves. We're all in that battle, right? It's a war that we're all waged to win, hopefully, right? But every day we're in the battle of it. So let's be kind to the people that are next to us, that are in the fight next to us. Like, all of a sudden, it's funny, we get in the car and we forget that, like, we're all humans and we all have families. You know, when I call and I talk to people, I let them know my story. I let them know who I am as a person, because I actually have, like, you know, people that depend on me, or people that I care about and that I love. And we all have those things. We're not that different. So that unity, I think, is really important to draw upon. And remember, like, that we're more similar than we are different, right? So we may look at the color of our skin or our hair, or, you know, what our facial features look like, or our body type, or any of those things. That we're all the same. We all have beating hearts in our chest, and we all want to win and succeed in some way, shape, or form, right? So it's incredible to be able to realize that you have the capacity within you to unify everyone around you, right? And you know those people that come into a room or that are around you that you feel like it's very divisive and they separate people. And then you have those persons that come into the room that are like, that love on everybody, and they create like a vibe of like good energy and excitement and a team and unity, right? Those are the people that you want to lift up and you want to spend your time with, and become one of those people. Become one of those people that is like somebody who actually creates more togetherness, right? Don't create division. Be mindful of what's coming out of your mouth, because those are the kinds of things that create good things in the world, to create more unity versus division, right? And separation. So we have that, a lot of diversity among us, but we have the responsibility to create the kind of energy and the life that we want. Joel's got a question. I cannot read. I'm gonna put my glasses back on. What are some things to do before bed when I wake up to have the right mindset? Okay, so this is what I like to do. So I just realized this year that I need to put my stuff in multiple places. And I think I've talked about it before, like my goals, I put my goals everywhere. I have my goals in my office, I have my goals in my planner, I have my goals in my car, I have my goals in my bathroom, I'm everywhere. I read my goals, the things that I want to be able to achieve. And I talked about it the other day, so a bunch of people that work for our firm are just coming back from Hawaii. And so Jason and I were talking, and we were thinking about like what we want to do when we get there next year. And I was like, I want to put my toes in the sand. I want to stand on the beach and I want to put my toes in the sand. And for me, that became like my trigger almost, right? I was like, toes in the sand. Like, so every time I get down, or I start to get distracted or start to get bugged about the things that are going on, I start to think about my toes in the sand, right? Now that may be a little thing, but I can feel it. So when you're reading your goals, you have to have something that makes you feel it, that like makes you charged up, right? That you feel it somehow, because you got to be able to get present in that moment as fast as possible, so you can switch exactly what it is that you want to do. Thanks, Ebony, very sweet. The idea is that you want to be able to switch your mindset, right? It almost like, I had a friend, my mom's boyfriend actually, he used to be in sales for a long time, and he used to tie his tie, and it was like the click was when he clicked his tie basically like this, like tightened it up, and he said game time, and that was his like trigger, right? And so find the thing that makes you switch into the right mindset. What immediately makes you excited? What immediately makes you feel positive and hopeful and joyful about what you're going to be able to do? So the easier that it is for you to shift that mindset and get to the point where you can control it, the better off that you'll be, right? And the more effective that you'll be. So that's a really actually great question. So the goals are important, the affirmations, and doing that kind of stuff all day. Right? And really, like I said, also minimizing the negative and keeping yourself focused on the positive as much as you can. We tend to focus on the wrong things, so we have to make sure we train ourselves consistently to keep working on the other things, the good things, right? You have to be focused on that vision. So the goals and the dreams, the affirmations, that vision of what you want for your life, that's where you have to be thinking. As much as like, almost like you want to have your head in the clouds, daydreaming, thinking about all these things that you want to be able to do, but focused on the things that actually are going to get it done, right? Like step by step by step. Like Martin Luther King had a vision of like global peace and acceptance and creating a better life for everyone. Like serving humanity and really appreciating people for who they are and not for what they look like. So if that resonates with you, make it that. Like make your mission and your journey somehow related to creating, more joy and more unity for other people. It's, what's your ultimate vision of what your life is to look like? And when you start thinking about that, then you start to realize that some of the things that you're doing day to day are not in line with the vision that you want to create for your life. And if they're not in line with the vision you want to create for your life, you have to figure out a way to maybe stop doing them or minimize them, because ultimately, once you figure out what you want to do, it's almost like you want to run towards it as fast as you possibly can, and you don't want to waste any time, because when you have that thing that you want, that in the pit of your stomach that makes you like want it, it's that desire. And once you figure out that white hot burning desire, you like have to have it, right? So let me see if I can, I have a couple more questions. How can you do a quick sweep of associations that don't serve you? I don't want to turn off my social media. Should I just create a new one? Oh, that's interesting. Actually, some of what I've done is I've actually taken a look at some of my friends and on Facebook, and I've kind of looked at their pages, because there's certain things, and you probably don't have the time. I mean, if you've got thousands of friends, like, you don't have the time to do this all the time. But if you've got people that are posting negative things, or maybe they're making negative comments, or not necessarily negative, because for a long time Jason was like, I'm not negative, I'm just a realist. And I was like, no, you're not. You're being super negative. Sometimes you have to, what you look at is, I saw the other day, Will Smith posted this about, surround yourself with people who like make your flame rise, like who make you better, who lift you up, versus like putting it out. So I thought about that, and he said, look at the last 5 text messages in your phone. Are those people that are like fueling your fire, keeping you fired up, like making your fire grow, or are they pissing on it, right? So if you've got people that are making comments on your page, or aren't like giving you encouragement or bringing you up, maybe it's time to, block them for a little bit, or maybe it's time to unfollow them for a little while. Maybe you don't want to block them, it's kind of harsh, but you may just want to make sure that you've got the opportunity to have people around you that are your cheerleaders, that are lifting you up or supporting you, making you feel good about what you're doing. Right now, you don't want to surround yourself with a bunch of yes men. If somebody's got like a legitimate response and say, hey, have you thought about this? Maybe that's somebody who could give you some value, but it's all about how they deliver it. If they're putting stuff out there that's negative for everybody to see, that's probably somebody that I wouldn't want to be following. But if maybe they direct message you and give you some actual constructive feedback, that's a cool thing, right? I think that it's a case by case basis, but you don't want to just sweep through everyone. I think you want to make sure that you look for value, right? And what value is that person bringing to me? Because I want to be able to, if I have my vision of what I want to be able to create, are they going to help me get to my vision? And maybe I can help them get to theirs. What's their vision, right? There's so many different ways that you can look at this stuff, but it's the one thing that unifies all of it is you. It's the vision that you have for your life and what you want to be able to create. So if you know what that is, you're really clear on what that is, then you don't let a lot of stuff get in your way, right? And maybe you even learn to talk to some of the people that, not like you can just sweep out your close family and friends, like people that you know really well, but maybe you have different conversations with them. Maybe you ask them different questions about what they really want, right? So sometimes there's a lot of, the negativity is not coming necessarily directly at you. It's coming from a different place. It's coming from somebody else's fear, doubt, resistance, struggle, any of that kind of stuff. That's usually where it comes from, right? Okay, so let's see, any other questions? Oh, how do you stay focused when adversity happens? Adversity is so common. It happens, it happens to me multiple times a day. I don't know. Comment, if you're one of those people that adversity happens to daily, please feel free and mention it, right? I think that what happens is that adversity is something that is part of life. So we have to expect it. When you get up in the morning and you're excited and you're grateful for the time that you have on this earth, be okay with expecting adversity to happen. So when it happens, you're not like, oh man, I can't believe that. That's awful. You're like, oh yeah, I figured it was going to happen. All right, what's next, right? Bring it, universe. It's one of my hashtags. I'm like, I expect stuff to go wrong, but I also know that my ultimate vision and my focus is where I want to be able to go, what I want to do for my family. Nothing is more important to me than my family and what I want to be able to create for them. So there isn't any adversity or fear or struggle or issue that makes me, that deters me or makes me lose focus from my goal. It shouldn't, right? So when you're I think Eric Thomas says when your grind is greater than your fear, or when your why is greater than your fear, that's when you'll be able to be successful. What happens is that most of us don't do things because we're fearful, or we don't know how, we're unsure, we're uncertain. And so when adversity strikes, it's like, oh, see, yeah, I knew this wasn't for me, or I knew it, I couldn't get this done, or this was going to be too hard for me. So we let adversity cheat us because we're not focused on where we really want to go. So that's what I find. Like, and granted, I'm still a work in progress. Adversity continues to kick my butt, but it's one of those things that, like, the sharper that I get on my clarity and my vision and where I'm going. And even, like, I swear to you, after Jason watching The Secret just the other day, like, we've been that much more aligned in what we want to be able to create. So you need, like, almost like you need, like, your road dog or your wingman or your person that's like your partner that you can bounce ideas off of. You want that person to be supportive. It's really hard if that person isn't in line with that vision. So first you have to get yourself clear on your vision, and then you have to make sure that your partner or the person that's closest to you, your family, what have you, they're in line with it also. Because if they're not in line with it, it's going to be very difficult for you when adversity strikes. Until you're strong enough to be able to handle it mentally yourself, you will lean on and rely on other people around you. And so those people are hopefully people that are going to be pushing you up and helping you get to your vision and mission, not being like, no, I know you're tired, you should rest. Well, no, I didn't really get done what I needed to get done today, so probably I shouldn't rest then. Like, maybe I should get done what I need to get done, and then I can rest after that as a reward, right? There's so many different ways to look at it. So, okay, let's see if I have any other questions. Let's see. Oh, I had a couple. In what ways do you work to unify family and your team? So one of the ways that I like to unify people, hey, Noelle, I haven't seen you in forever. I like to be able to bring people together, and there's an exercise in a workshop that I was in probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it was a workshop basically that talked about, like, leadership and how to, I think I posted it a little bit about it, just how to be better as far as, like, persuading and talking to people and getting people to see what's really going on inside of you. Like, because sales has always had, like, sales is like a bad word. Like, people always hate that word, but it's not really bad. It's really just explaining to people, look, if there's something that you need and I have something to offer you that's good for it, then let me offer to you and explain it to you. And if it makes sense, great. And if not, that's okay, right? It's not a good or a bad thing. It's just fact, right? But because of that negative connotation, people are always, like, scared of it, or they feel weird about it, or what have you. And so one of the things that it's important to be able to do is connect with people, right? So when we're talking about we're all the same, we're all in the same battle, we all want the same things, you have to learn how to connect with people. And when you can figure out that you're on the same level as other people, you're both humans, right? Then it's easier for you to be able to create, some type of conversation. So one of the things that we've done as a workshop, like in some of our meetings, we kind of line everybody up and we go one by one, and we share with them, like, what are some of the things that I admire about you? Like, you tell the other person what you admire about them. Or you tell them, like, something that you accomplished this week that you're proud of. And we go one by one. And that's something that's really cool, because it gives people the opportunity to say, everybody who's in that room, in that meeting, something that they admire about the other person, or something that they've accomplished this week that they want to, share. And so it gives people the opportunity to connect. And the other thing is, if you're having issues with anybody that's in that room, eventually you're going to get to them, and you're going to have to go face to face, and you're going to have to talk. So it actually helps bring people together, and it kind of makes some of the little, like, petty stuff go away, because at the end of the day, you're really trying to unite and do something as a group, right? That's one thing that I like to be able to do. Imelda, my fear is my biggest enemy. It knocks me down easily. It's super hard for me because I don't know how to go about it again. You know what? Fear it will always be there. It will always be there, but you have to learn how to manage it, right? If you're able to manage it and understand that it's going to be there, but there are other people around you who have the same fears. We all have the same fears, Imelda. It's the kind of thing that, like, we've learned how to put them at bay or on the back burner for a little while we turn to what our goal is, what our focus is, right? I have a lot of fears, but at the end of the day, those fears are not more important than my kids and my family, right? I don't let that stuff get in my way, because at the end of the day, I want to be able to create a better life for them. And the life that I have now is not the life that I want for them to ultimately see, right? So I want more for them. And is it going to be uncomfortable for me? Absolutely. Is it going to cause me more time and, you know, maybe some stress along the way? Absolutely. Do I expect adversity? Hell yeah, I do. But you know what? I'd rather have that adversity. I'd rather have my kids see me take on adversity and take on fear and beat it, versus be leveled on the side and not taking care of what I need to take care of and not pushing it to the next level, right? Because those are the people that I want them to become. I want to be an example of who I want them to become. So I'm going to create myself to design who I want them to become, and at least what example I want them to follow, right? Because that's how I create a better life for them, right? Let me see, any other questions for me? I see your vision board. Awesome. Do you have more than one? Yeah, I have, you know, I put this little one with Jasmine made me a little like a Valentine's Day like heart thing at school, and I was like, oh, I love it so much. It's so cute. So I put that up. No, I have a bunch. Actually, I have some over the years. I have some in my bedroom. We have some in our living room. We have this one. Like, there's so many. Like, Jason and I like to put them together, but I think that it's one of those things that the more that I see these things, it triggers and makes me look at even more things like on my phone. Like, he saw, like, we're looking at houses right now, like the backyard. We want it to have like a really open pool, and then like have the back be like open, but then also have like an area that's like an overhang that you could like sit and have like outside parties and nice, but then also have like the sliding glass doors or like big doors or whatever to be able to like kind of seal in the house. So there's all these different like patios and things that we're looking at. We're like, oh, that would be awesome. That's perfect. But I think about the vision of what I want our home to look like, our ultimate dream home. Like all those things come into play. And so when I'm, you know, it might be a different thing. Like I was talking about earlier, it might be my toes in the sand that I'm thinking about being in Hawaii or on the beach in Tahiti or Phuket, Thailand or wherever. But it also might be my house. It might be my vision of what that looks like. You know, there's all these different ways to be able to shift your mindset and think about the things that you want to be able to create. So I had one other question. Does anybody have any other questions for me? I'll give you guys one. How does diversity play a role in your life and business? Because I wanted to talk a little bit about diversity. Diversity is something that I think is a part of our lives. And so, you know, we don't go anywhere without being around people of all different backgrounds, all different cultures, all different environments. That's, you know, the melting pot. That was what I grew up learning. Like, it's a melting pot. Doesn't matter. Like, when I was growing up, I didn't look like a lot of people. I grew up in LA, but, you know, mixed kids were like not a normal thing when I grew up. Now it's like, you know, everybody's mixed. Everybody's a mutt of some kind, right? But diversity, like I always used to joke and say, I am an interracial relationship, so I can't be racist, right? The whole thing is like, diversity is what we see every day. Like, so there's really no point in us not embracing it, because embracing it, like not embracing it and keeping it at bay and thinking like, oh, I'm just going to talk to this one group of people, it really limits you. Think about how many different perspectives you're missing out on. How many about, you know, different groups have different skills and different incredible gifts that they have to give other people, that when you limit yourself to who you talk to, you're hindering yourself and you're hindering your growth, right? So what I've always believed is that I have so much to give, and other people have a lot of gifts to give me as well, and I want to experience every one of those that I can. So like diversity plays a huge role in my business, because I want everybody around me. I want a lot of different people, because I always want a different perspective. I want people to, and I even think it's good, challenge me. Like, let me think about it. If I think it should be this way, but you think it should be that way, give me, you know, give me good, solid reasons why it should be that way. I'm pretty fair. I would love to be able to hear how people look at things a different way and create a different vision. Who knows what it is, right? And I guess that's kind of a little bit of a vague answer, but I have to tell you this, like, there's strength in that diversity, there's strength in that unity, right? So if you can create a united vision with even some of the people that you have around you, right, that are or your friends or in your business partners or your coworkers or what have you, that influence you, that you can have influence on as well, like, you have that diversity, but that creates unity together, right? There's no strength without unity. Publius Syrus said, when there is unity, there is always victory. So if you can create that unity in your life, unifying other people, unifying the people, like you may even have some people in your family that don't get along with each other. Like if you can be that picture of someone who helps bring people together, because again, we're all in that same battle. We're all battling to be able to win the game, so to speak, right? So we're not that different. So if we can create that unity, we will have a victory at the end. So I appreciate you guys. If anybody you guys have any more questions, please let me know. Please like, please comment, please share, because this is the, the opportunity to be able to get this information out to many people. I keep my stuff pretty open. We're pretty much open books, but we love the opportunity to be able to share as much as we can with you guys. And just go out there, have a great life, be inspired to have a great life and create everything that you want for your family, for your friends, for your future. Okay, be inspired for a great life.